Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about Conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host. And Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Mindset Monday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to chat about something interesting and intriguing. Y'all know March is Women's History Month. And today we're talking identity, confidence, and peace for the new era woman. And my very special guest is a fellow Rattler, Coach Michelle G, who is also an RN and just a woman who is focused on women and wanting to see them be their best selves. But before I bring Coach Michelle G on, I need to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and your comments and your questions are welcome. Please put your city and state in the comments so we can give you a shout out. This is an interactive live, and although we'll be talking about the new era woman, the men can listen in as well. And so I know that it's we're a little, just the temperature is dropping here in Tallahassee. We got this cold front coming through. I'm feeling like I need to get some soup going. Okay, as the rain came through yesterday and today. So listen, y'all, hunker down, because I think this is about to be the last little cold front of the winter before spring comes in. So, all right. So I see some folks chiming in. My mom down in Miami. Thank you for being here, Ma. Love you, love you. All right. I know there will be others that are joining us. So like, share, tag a friend, let them know they need to be on here and part of this conversation. Hopefully, you all have been celebrating women. The month is halfway over, but you still got time to celebrate the women and pay tribute to the women in your life or who have gone on. All right. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share some of Coach Michelle G's bio. Michelle G. Rhodes is a registered nurse, media founder, and master trainer for the Align Leadership the trainer program. She founded the New Era Woman Podcast Network, amplifying conversations on faith, leadership, wellness, and purpose while helping women use their voices to influence culture and lead with clarity and courage. And she is allowed me to share her platform as well. And I will be on her show on, I think it's March 29th, I believe, March 29th at 6 p.m. So you definitely have to tune into that. Y'all help me welcome Coach Michelle G. Yay! Welcome, welcome.
Hi, Nicole. Good evening. How are you?
I'm well, I'm well, I'm well. So tell the people, who is Coach Michelle G? Not what you do, but who are you in your own words?
hmm And thank you for prefacing that. Well, first and foremost, child of the King, daughter of the Most High God, and He
Mhm.
leads and guides me each and every day in this purpose-filled life. So that, at my core, is who I am. Took me a minute to find out who she was, but
Mm.
now that I have found her, I am ready to go. Okay.
Okay.
Um, Yes, and I'm so glad we're talking about this tonight because identity is the foundation of everything. And once you know who you are, whose you are, and whom,
Mhm.
I do believe that's when life changes for you, and we're able to direct from there. Yeah. So at the
Absolutely.
core, that's who I am.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for sharing that. So, talk a little bit about the aligned leadership program. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So it all stems from purpose. So just to give it a little bit of background so you understand
Okay.
how it was developed, because I do a lot of curriculum building. So every year I try to come up with something new. And this year, God placed in my spirit purpose and power.
Okay.
So the programs, we're really focused on Instagram. We do more purpose work. But on LinkedIn, it is more power, which is your leadership capabilities. So
Gotcha.
so we do some groundwork inside of identity, and once we know what that looks like, what role are you playing inside of your organization? What are your responsibilities? Then we talk about purpose, because a lot of people just come to do skills and tasks for the day, but
Hmm.
why are you here? Why is this important? What leads and guides you throughout the day and decision making? Because that's where the rubber meets the road. That's when we truly find out who you are. So we talk about the power of decision making, and then how that looks inside of your leadership. Because from there, people are going to again see who you truly are as a leader. That's the core of it. It's really just getting out to the identity, to your purpose, and then we talk about decision making. We
Okay.
might do a little bit of ethics as well.
Nice, 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 nice. All right.
Yes,
And so, fellow Rattler,
that's right. Yes, yes.
yes,
Uh,
and I got to
yeah.
give a shout out to Ishmael Rentz, who is my FAMU freshman homeboy,
Yes.
or classmate rather, and he connected us. So,
Yes.
thank
Yes.
you,
Yes.
thank
Yes.
you, Ish, thank you, Ish.
Yes, we were both born and raised in St. Petersburg, Florida. So, gosh, I want to say high school is when we kind of first met, but it was only
Gotcha.
because he was a friend of my best friend. They lived
Okay.
on the same street, so when I would go visit her, I got to meet him and his family, and they were very nice people. So, just over the years, and of course, they went to him and his brother went to FAMU as well, so we just kept in touch. But yeah,
Okay.
very
Cool.
wonderful people.
Yes, 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 yes. All right, very good. So let's dive into this topic of identity, confidence, and peace for the new era woman, which
You're talking my
is
love language.
that's the love language. Okay, cool. Well, good. So when we talk, I think what I'd like to probably unpack first is the new era woman. So
Mhm.
when you hear that, what does that mean for you?
Mm. I mentioned a few moments ago that for a long time I didn't know who I was. I was so focused on titles. So we're talking about college and growing,
Mhm.
right? So that registered nurse took me very far.
Mhm.
Entrepreneurship took me very far. But in performing, at the core, I was a people pleaser. So I still wasn't being true to me. I was so um,
Mhm.
set in my ways, I guess, from my upbringing. I'm making other people happy. So this evaded me for a long time because I was just the caregiver, the healer, the people pleaser. And I had to do some soul searching, say,
Mhm.
again, like you asked in the beginning, who are you outside of
Mhm.
that?
Mhm.
So that's what really started the New Era Woman movement, after realizing that even after all of the things I had accomplished, I still was missing something.
Yeah.
Um, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I'll go through that process. But after discovering the identity, that's how the New Era Woman was born, because I felt like I'd moved into the new era of my life. And I was like, I know if I'm experiencing this, I know other women must be experiencing this, and why
Mhm.
not traverse this new era together? So from there, I began to build out, again, I tell you, trainings, curriculums, digital products, and programming, and moving into some events as well, just to support all of us as we move and grow in our
Mm.
lives.
Nice, nice. No, thank you for, um, explaining that because I think that many women find themselves in that kind of scenario. I know I had my son in my early 20s. And so for 18 years, I was his mama. And so any pretty much all of the things that I had hopes and dreams and aspirations of doing were on the back burner as I sought to um, make a living and build a life for him, right?
Right.
And not that I have any regret around that or that that's a bad thing, but I found when he left, I found myself to be lost, uh,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing really who I was, what I liked. And so I went on a, I was exploring all of that, trying to
Yeah,
figure it out, trying to figure it out. So I can definitely identify with um, being lost and having, not really tapping into your identity outside of certain roles.
absolutely. And we tend to take on a lot of them sometimes, right? Um, and it's conversations like this and platforms like this and the New Era Woman that really brings it to light, because so I
Mhm.
feel like sometimes we do that struggle alone, which was
Yeah,
another barrier, which I think another reason why it was so delayed. And you wonder why so late in life, like why am I just doing this so late? Because you
yeah,
mentioned 20s. We're FMU, you're pushed to go get your education, get your job, you start your career, so your focus is there.
yeah,
But it wasn't really cultivating the core of who I was. I was so busy
yeah.
again with those other things. So, those are things I had to struggle with. Like, why am I, addressing this so late? And where are other women who are, facing the same battle? So,
Mhm.
hence these movements. And now we can hopefully help others cross that bridge a little sooner, with more power.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, let me acknowledge, we got Dre on here with us. She's here in the Tallahassee area. She said, "Been there." Amen. So we are in good company. Okay, we are not
Yes,
alone.
at all.
Mm-mm, at all. And so, what would you recommend to a woman who feels like, she doesn't know who she is? How can she find her identity?
Yes. So with this curriculum building, that I've come to love, I have built my own framework. So a lot of it's built on my own experience and, of course, some research. But I just actually did a video on this today.
Mhm.
First step is assessing yourself. Like, are you aware? A lot of people don't even have self awareness. So
Yeah.
our first A of the pillar, the framework is aim high, AIMHI. So assessment, awareness, assessing you. Do you truly know? And these are the questions I ask myself. You kind of have to do some curiosity questions, move from confusion to curiosity. That's really what this block is about. So, how
Mhm.
can I get clear on me,
Mm.
Lord? Why was I created? What are you in my life? Who am I to you? What is my
Right.
purpose? What should I be doing to strengthen my walk with you, Lord? Can you share, the things that I'm missing? What am I not seeing? What are my blind spots? Like, really
Mhm.
having those deep conversations with God just to get more clear on you. We can, you know, think we are XYZ all day. But again, I think sometimes with seeing yourself through how God sees you will waken you quickly to your identity.
Mhm. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. So assess yourself, have a talk with God, and really, I think also not be in denial about some things as well, because I
Hmm.
think sometimes we can do that too. You know.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, people have to be aware that they're in denial, because
Mm-hmm.
we can be in delusion. There's so many pieces. So this is so important what you're doing here with mental health. So again, maybe having a trusted advisor, a therapist to take that outside look to see, you know, a lot of people tell you to ask your closest friend or three people that know you, how would you describe me? That's a very popular way of how
Mm-hmm.
do other people see you? Because sometimes you don't see those blockages. You don't know you're in denial. You just think this is your norm.
Right.
And I was mentioning today that confusion can seem like reality to some people,
Mm-hmm.
when it's truly just you're living in a life of confusion. So we got to get out of confusion into clarity. And once you can realize that, okay, now I see how other people see me, I can be more aware of not just myself and my feelings, but that this is growing you into emotional intelligence. Now I can see how I interact with other people and how I need to show up for them. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
if how they respond to me, how do I feel? Like it's a give and take, it's a reciprocity, because again, so often we are in our boxes and we got to get outside of that box, outside of the comfort zone in order to grow.
Absolutely. Dre said self awareness helps combat victim mentality.
Ooh, yes. And it's
Mhm.
so prominent, right? Like people are
Yeah.
quick to, and this is all again a part of being mentally well, because again, if you don't have anyone to give you sound counsel or
Right.
have a platform, you haven't listened to Nicole on Mondays, how will you come to know it unless you're just a really avid reader like I was, or in therapy? Like some people
Mm.
really seek that growth. My concern is those people who are fixed mindset people, and that's where we have a certain percent of the population who refuse to grow.
Yeah.
That's where you see that victim mentality.
Hmm. Absolutely. All right. Tracy Gole has joined us. Thank you for being here, Tracy. All right. Um, all right. So you said aim high. So assess yourself. Was there a
Yeah.
cute saying for I?
So that moves into the identity piece. So now that you've come out
Okay.
of confusion, you've gotten clear. Who did God say that you are? Who does
Mm,
God say that you are? And sometimes we got to dig into our Bible. For those who are going to look to a higher power, we have to have that outside source. Um, Now that you take on his word, right, and dwell on that day and night until it sinks in, so that you know that you know that you know, and no one can shake you from that, which is so important. And I think this is what you and I were talking about. I know this is kind of quickly off topic, but I know you have an event talking about that inner knowing. You have to
mhm.
know yourself, get to that identity as quick as you can, because if you
Yeah.
don't know, the world will try to tell you who you are, or people who
Mm,
want to manipulate you will tell you who you are, and you don't have a clue. And so that was a part of my awakening. That's part of my testimony, is that we've been heavily
man.
manipulated. But
Oh
once you
my
step into
God.
that light, no one can tell you anything different. Now you're moving into purpose.
That right there. Listen, that whole manipulation piece and you trying to be something that you are not and don't even really recognize it. For real, for real. Yes. So Dre said,
Mhm.
if you know who and whose you are, no one can tell you anything different.
That's what I'm telling you. So we
Yes,
all have to go through that awakening, right?
we do.
So I thank God that I went through mine, because some people never go through it. They're afraid. They're
Mhm.
afraid to face that darkness. But He woke
Yeah.
me up, like they say, brought me out of darkness into the marvelous light, child.
Mhm.
So, with that awakening, you can now say, okay, I was performing. Like I told you, I was a people pleaser. So I was doing all the
Yeah.
things that I wanted other people to be happy.
Right.
But I was drained inside from me. And so God shut
Mhm.
that down and said, come to me. I want to pour into you and tell you who you are. From there, where a woman's born. So now I'm walking in purpose. But yeah, get to identity as quick as you can, because that is where you get your confidence, and we can
Mhm.
move up to H, which you're ready
So
for
wait,
H.
did I
Oh, I'm
miss
sorry, M.
What was M?
I skipped to H. M. Oh, move. We have to move. So that
Okay.
means now that you know who you are, how are you going to implement that in your? How does that
Okay.
look in your everyday life? How are you going
Mhm.
to show up? Again, for me, as New Era Woman, for you is Mindset Monday. But
Mhm.
we are to be, now that we're going to help ourselves, how do we help others? So it's about
Mm.
movement and incorporating it into your daily life.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
movement, it could be physical, it could be um, some other things that we do, like not just moving our physical body, but just some of the things that we do. Maybe it's volunteering, maybe it's, I'm not sure, but yes, movement is
It's,
very important.
it's
Um,
many things, right? Which is, I'm
mhm.
so glad you said that. I was so, you know, trying to get it out, but no, that's perfect. That's
Yeah.
perfect, Nicole. That's what it's all about, because it's not just physical, is wonderful, and that's going to help
Mhm.
us in so many ways, right? We relieve stress. Um, and with me, I lost 35 pounds, so I started moving. So physically, we do have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not just that, right? It's
Mhm.
moving in the spirit, it's moving in your mind, it's moving with others socially.
Yeah.
How are we
Yeah.
doing? What are we doing to make a move? What are we doing to move the needle? What are we doing to move our lives forward? What are we doing to move other people? So that
Yes.
move encompasses so much.
Indeed. No, that's good. All right. So, H.
So it's healing, but let me explain, because sometimes people say, why not earlier? Because again, this is all encompassing, just like that M,
Okay.
meaning, yeah, is yes, if you have now taken a look at yourself and say, are there any places that I missed, any places that I haven't healed? What do I need to do? For me, I did a year of therapy, got what I needed, so I'm in a much happier place. But
Mm,
it's also healing others. So again, what are you doing to? Because I'm just a very strong believer on us pouring back into the community, because you never know who you can help by reaching
mhm.
back. So that healing incorporates you and your community.
So, I think sometimes we may be challenged there in terms of what healing looks like. Um, Maybe sometimes we have some coping skills or strategies that aren't necessarily healthy, but
Mm-hmm.
they soothe whatever it is going on with us. I was listening to audiobook Atomic Habits. I was very engulfed in it because the author was really talking about just why we do what we do. And sometimes the habits that we have, again, they're seeking to soothe something that's physical that's going on with us. Our bodies are perceiving things all the time,
Constantly, constantly.
right? And so I just, with that healing piece, I think we have to, there needs to be a little bit of a mindset shift as it relates to that, and really seek
That's practice.
to, yeah, to heal ourselves in a way that's going to serve us well.
Hmm. Of course, it's again all encompassing, like I mentioned. But I do think you do have to find what works for you. Like I said, for me, it was therapy. So
Yeah.
I'm in a much better place. But some people don't want. I'm sure you talk about this on your show a lot. Um, Thanks to COVID, I mean, we didn't like COVID, but it brought mental health to the forefront. So I feel like
Hmm.
a lot of people embraced therapy much more readily and easily after that. So it's
Hmm.
easy to talk for us to talk about it a little bit easier now. But if that's not your thing, what is it that you're going to do to heal? Some
Yeah.
people have to go to the root and address people, places, and things that hurt them. Again,
Hmm.
talking to a trusted source. What is it that you see? And then how do you assess your life? What is it? What are those habits that you see that continue to spring up that you might not be aware that are hurtful to you?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Has it been your experience that you've seen women have a difficult time with that? Because we are such nurturers, and we are caring for everybody else and not necessarily ourselves.
Mm. It depends on the person. It really does. It's mindset.
Mm,
So the renewal of the mind is so important,
it
because it
is.
can again put you either in growth mode or fixed mode. So that
Mm,
part is the first piece that tells you if the person is open to therapy, that where they can go explore, because a lot of this comes from childhood. We know that, right? So are
mhm.
you willing to face? You have to be able to face those things that might have happened in childhood, happened in the dark, so to speak. We have to be able to face that, and those are people that get healed because they don't want to address the dark parts of themselves.
Yep. Which is kind of part of what I was getting at, really, to be honest. Is, those adverse childhood experiences and the things that we did maybe back then that protected us or kept us safe, or that we believe did, but are maybe no longer serving us well as adults, right?
That's part of healing. It's such a
Hmm.
beautiful thing, though. Now that I mean, speaking that a person that has gone through it,
Yeah.
going through it is no fun. It is a lot of pain. It is a lot of
Hmm.
sleepless nights, a lot of crying and trying to figure things out internally.
Hmm.
Um, so that is the hard part. It's not easy, to say the least. But I do think with support, that's where our support systems are so important. So make sure you have a tribe. If you can, even miss one person, you
Hmm.
know, who can just be there to stand in the gap with you, to pray with you, um, to just be a helping hand or a ear to hear
Mhm.
and understand what you're going through. Um, that's been crucial to my healing as well.
Okay,
Is having
very good.
a great, yeah, a great support system that actually can make all the difference in the world.
Mhm. It
So shout
can.
out to my support system. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. We all should find tribe or village or those folks that have our best interests at heart and want to see us excel and do well. So
That part.
agreed, agreed,
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah. And
All right.
it can make or break you. So
Yeah.
that might be where and let me just say this super quick. We
Sure.
teach 8 parts of wellness. And so this is again, you looking at all parts of you. So that part we just talked about is what we call your social wellness. People
Mm-hmm.
sometimes overlook that. I don't need nobody. I can do everything on my own. Nobody here to help me. Nobody. So again, victim mentality. But are you willing to open yourself up to support? Are you willing to open yourself up to love? Are you willing to open yourself up to addressing negative feelings? Like you have to be able to open to receive, right? I
Yeah.
say like a closed hands don't can't get fed, right? So you got to be
Right.
able to open those parts of you. So we're talking socially, financially, intellectually,
Mm-hmm.
occupationally, physically, mentally. Um, and I hope I got them all. But that's your whole well-rounded approach to wellness, and we have to be able to look at each and every part of ourselves, and then I think that helps you with your game plan on how you show up. Because what
Absolutely.
might be a battle for me, I'm pretty social, so that wasn't a battle for me. Thank God I was able to have a tribe. That might be a battle for someone else. But
Mm-hmm.
I know my battle is in another part of those piece of wellness, right? So I got to really work hard on my physical body to stay
Mm,
healthy.
absolutely. Absolutely. No, great points. Those dimensions of wellness, it's not gonna all be 100% all the time. It'll be at different levels, and not for you to beat yourself up about it, but you just do what you can, to do better, to improve, right? So, all right. So H was healing. What's I?
We didn't even get done with it. I got all impact. So
Impact.
impact is still that. Yes.
Okay.
That's when I feel like you are striving in your purpose because people know you for this. You have people who can speak on your behalf for that. You've gotten
Okay.
recognition for this. You're just giving back your um, maybe a thought leader, and that's where our leadership pieces come in. At how are you
Mm,
impacting the world with this
mm.
newfound identity and purpose that you're walking in?
Okay. Love it. Love it. And you definitely want to make impact. At least I do. I guess I can't speak for everybody else, but I do. I want to have a positive impact
Yeah.
wherever I go. So I like that. All right. So we are um what's the next letter? G. G. All right. What we got for G?
No, that's it. It's just 5 pieces. It's SHI, so
Oh,
it's not the
hi. Oh, not okay, got it. Look,
uh-huh.
trying to make it longer than it is. Okay.
Yeah,
I
no,
like that
it's just
framework.
nature. Thank
Yeah, I
you.
like that framework. I like that framework of
Thank you.
identity, confidence, peace for the new era woman. All right, very good. So let me pause. I see Miss Keisha has joined us. Greetings, God's people. Thank you for being here, Keisha. So we are almost halfway through our talk. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm talking with Coach Michelle G. We are talking identity, confidence, and peace for the new era woman. It is Women's History Month. So I thought, what better topic than talking about women and identity, confidence, and peace. And this is right up in Coach Michelle's wheelhouse. So I was like, this is going to be a great conversation.
It's been
So let's
mhm.
talk confidence because I think sometimes we can struggle with that as well. I think that from a societal standpoint, women kind of historically, I'm not gonna say the new era woman per se, but historically, women have been, kind of told to be mild mannered and, you know, kind of quiet and almost as if they're kind of put on a pedestal and
Mhm.
Also, that they should maybe know their place, right? And their place was not necessarily out front leading, being ahead of men or doing something that would be considered kind of masculine or what have you. And so I think that's a struggle that some women have, right? Is the kind of, you know, the confidence piece.
Yes, who am
So
I?
talk a
Right?
little bit about that.
Yeah, there's a reason why I put identity first because this is going to help you move into increased confidence. So once
Mm,
you again go through that whole framework, right?
mhm,
Once moving there, I do, and I'm going to reiterate that. Start with that deep inner knowing, that deep identity, because it's going to determine how you show up in the world. Because all of us are different, right? Some of us, like myself, I'll just take myself for an example. I like to be behind the scenes creating. I'm a creative,
mhm,
creating things. Like I mentioned, all these things are created, right? So I'm not, although I will go out and speak and I've done it, it's not my first choice to be the
mhm,
keynote speaker. But you have some women, confidence to them means I can do a keynote, right? So that's where that identity comes in. Who are you? How do you
yeah,
want to show up in the world? Now that
mhm,
we know that, now you can say, hey, I am the person that likes to be the creative behind the scenes, but I like quietness. I like to show up in the power of my work. And
mm,
that's what speaks for me. And that's what brings me confidence. So that's my story, is that I can create the New Era Woman, programs or go do a workshop and pour into them. And that's where my confidence comes from. That's a part of it. Now,
mhm,
primarily, of course, it comes from God. So I'll say God, and then your community. My mom was so vital to that. And then through your work, are you truly doing what you want to do in life? Are you in your purpose? Now you can show up authentically and confidently. But if
mhm,
those things are off, if you're not foundationally sure, who am I? What am I supposed to be doing with myself? Who am I supposed to be helping? All those questions, that's going to bring, insecurities, right? So
mhm,
yeah, I think that's why I go in that order. So I would just encourage women to get that part, that foundation steady. Um,
mhm,
Always see God, get that confidence from Him. They say
mhm.
confidence, right? But I'm going to talk about my mom for a moment. Now you said your mom is also shout out, mom.
Hey, mom.
The power. And it is Women's History Month, so
That's
shout
right.
out to the moms. Like if you're a
Out to
mom,
the mamas.
drop a heart in the
Yeah,
chat
drop a heart
because
in the chat if you a mama.
what? We are doing it, right?
Yes.
So that it alone takes confidence to show up for that family who is dependent on you, you're that emotional regulator of the family. You're the
Mhm.
crux, the foundation. So we need you well, New Era Woman. If
Yes.
we're going to do our part, drop a heart in the chat because this is where our confidence comes through as well. And it shines through. We can't do anything for our families if we aren't well, right? We want to pour into them. We got to be well first. So
Yes.
I just wanted to say shout out to my mom because when you talk about confidence, I was overweight as a child. I've had this gap as long as I can remember. But you know what she told me? Like, baby, that's your beauty mark. People,
Mhm.
who live in France, they love this.
Right.
And and so she would, and my name was French, so she just made me feel like a little black French girl living in the hood. I'm like, okay, so I thought I was half French.
Oui,
And I said,
oui.
I must have been French in a past life or something. But these are things she would pour into me, like, this is your beauty
Yeah.
mark. This is who you are.
Right.
People would love to have your smile. Your smile is radiant. You're beautiful. So
Yes.
she poured so much into me. Sometimes you have to borrow other people's confidence, is what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
if it had not been for her, when I meet people who I have met on my journey who would look at me like, why is your gap so big? Or why is that, in your mouth? Because it's my
Mhm,
beauty mark. So I can
mhm.
say what, she poured into me and it doesn't hurt me at all. So it's
Right.
so important to have people who, like you mentioned, have your best interests at heart because sometimes
Mhm.
we're borrowing that confidence when we may not feel so confident about ourselves and the whole body with women and looks and beauty. That's a whole nother piece to our confidence.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. No, I'm glad you said the things that you said. One, so definitely that identity has got to be solid. And while it is, yeah, it's roles, but it's more than that, right? And so if we are solid on the identity, then that confidence is going to exude through. And then I think also the comment about borrowing the confidence from others, because sometimes other people can see in you what you can't see in yourself, you know. Now, I need y'all to drop a thumbs up or something in the chat if that's been the case. I know that has been the case for myself, so I'm putting my thumb up. You know, I have a friend or a family member or a loved one that'll say, something great about me, and I'm like, what? Hey, you talk about me? So that that borrowed confidence, as you called it, is
Yeah.
something I think that can help us. And it's actually really planting and probably watering seeds of confidence that we didn't even, recognize that needed to be planted and watered. So
Yeah,
there's
and
that.
it's so funny that you said that because again, I told you I was a formal people pleaser. I can pour into other people all day long, like just like because
Mhm.
I get it from my mom, right?
Yeah.
But me looking in the mirror, like I have to like make it happen. Like, okay, let me think about what I want to say to myself.
Yeah.
So that was a process for me. So being able to just pour into yourself, which sometimes we can make happen so easily for others.
Mhm.
Hey, we got to make it happen for ourselves. So take the time that you need to create those seeds for your own life and well-being as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a
Yeah.
few more folks that have joined us. I want to definitely acknowledge them. I think this is Shantina. Thank you for being here. And Miss Cherise, the boys, thank you for being here. And Carla, who's also here in Tallahassee, thank you for being here. And Natasha A is also on the live, who's here in Tallahassee. And Miss Latina down in Tampa. Thank you for joining
Hey,
us.
you down
Yes.
here where I am. I'm in Tampa. Hey, Tampa.
Yes, yes, yes. She has a wonderful nonprofit. She speaks solutions. So y'all, it would be good for y'all to connect. I have to make that happen.
Yeah, let's do lunch. Let's do it.
Yes. All right. So confidence, confidence. That's what we were talking about. Again, I know sometimes we can be challenged with it as women, especially women who are reformed or recovering people pleasers, right?
Mm,
Uh-huh. And so we have to affirm ourselves in a positive way, in ways that will benefit us, that will speak to who we are and who we are working towards being,
yes.
right? Because we are ever evolving and being transformed, right?
Glory to glory.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes, 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 yes.
All
I'm
right.
just, I love it, and so I would encourage again, if you are feeling stuck or in a cycle, like what do you need to do to break outside of that box? Because
Mm,
there's so much life to be lived out. Again, I'm speaking from experience because I had to break out of
yes.
that norm that was keeping me down, and that
Mm,
broke out and found myself again. Um, brought me again so much identity, confidence, and peace. So don't be afraid to challenge yourself, is what I'm saying. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself to step outside of the comfort zone because sometimes things can get routine, it can get mundane, and we have to be so proactive to know what it is we're working towards. Make sure you're always working towards a goal because the last thing we want to do is get to the end of our journey and have any regrets. So live without regrets, ladies.
mhm. Oh, that's great. Good stuff. All right, and then peace. That is also part of our discussion. And so I feel like I have heard more about peace probably in the last 2, 3, 4 years about people not wanting somebody to disturb their peace, and if they can't have peace, they out of there. So talk to me about what this peace looks like for the new era woman.
Well, it is so important, right? You hear, like you mentioned, those sayings. I was sharing a few weeks ago a video that it's funny how all this can really tie together. So
Mhm.
yes, your peace is your priority. You don't let anyone disturb your peace. That's where you know you're in the right atmosphere, right? If you have peace around you, so it's a good mile marker, I think. But I was sharing that I had a revelation that it didn't just stop there. We don't want to just stop it. Okay, I have my peace, But ask God, what do you want me to find inside of this peace? I know
Hmm.
that's a little bit, challenging, but it is to take you to your next level. And that's when I broke through and had a breakthrough, because I got to the point where, okay, I got my peace back. I found myself, got my confidence. I don't think we're talking about tonight, the identity of confidence, but the peace came after I did take some solitude. So yeah, you do have to find some time to steal away, whatever that looks like for you.
Hmm.
It can be, for me, it was meditation, lots of prayer time, lots of
Hmm.
prayer time. Okay, I had to say that 3 times because I
Yeah.
made it a habit to pray every morning at 5 a.m.
Hmm.
But through that, I got to a spot where I had to say, Lord, what do you want me to leave with? And I think when you find that, that's where purpose was. It was
Mm.
inside of that piece. What am I learning here that I can share and do, back to what we talked about at the beginning, those 5 pieces to identity. So it all connects together if you can see it. Once you
Yeah.
get to peace, you come back and you share with others. So let
Oof.
peace lead you to your purpose.
Mm. That's powerful because I mean, if you're not used to maybe sitting quietly, sitting peacefully, and I know, so I meditate, right?
Yes.
When I first did it, it was initially challenging, right? Because you're trying to quiet your mind. Your mind is, doing all sorts of things, right? But
Yes.
once you can sit quietly, even in the midst of all sorts of things going on, and just, settle yourself and, allow the flow of what the meditation brings,
Yes.
you are absolutely right. There's the purpose is inside of that. And there's, at least for me, I can only speak for myself. There's so many downloads in those moments, right? And so, yeah, I encourage the new era woman to find that peace,
It
to
is
find peace.
it is powerful, yes, but I
Mm,
believe it's in the it's I believe it's created that way. It's created to be your place of transformation. I really
mhm,
believe God set it up that way because you're right. You got to seek Him, right? Like you don't just if you're busy being about your will and your agenda, you don't have time to receive those downloads like you mentioned. So if
yeah,
you are going to be following His will and let His will be done in your life, how are you going
mhm,
to get that? How are you going to get clear on what His will looks like for you? And so you
yeah,
do have to get that alone time with Him. Um,
mm,
that gives you your direction. But
yeah,
I feel like that distraction is kind of like a plot, to keep you away from whatever that is. So it's so
mhm,
important that we do find, a time for respite and that solitude because that's where you're going to find bigger things for you that God has for you. I'm telling you, I'm a witness. I'll just share this super quick. I don't want to ramble, but
no, good.
it's so important because I wouldn't have not discovered I have a spiritual gift. I won't
Mm,
go into all that, but I'm just saying I wouldn't have discovered that if I really didn't go into deep prayer and meditation. So
mm,
now
mhm,
it's changed my life and it's taken me to higher, heights in God. So
wow.
you never know what you'll discover about yourself there.
Mhm, mhm. And I would also say don't be afraid of it. Like, don't the thoughts are gonna come, and it's okay. I would say just don't spend too much time entertaining them, because we can definitely take ourselves down rabbit holes when we are sitting in solitude. But
You got to stay
it
focused.
yeah, but it will come. The
Yeah.
more you practice it, I promise it will come.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I want to acknowledge Dr. Monica Haynes, who's joined us. Thank you for being here, Dr. Monica, who's here in Tallahassee. So, yeah, peace, 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 peace. So I want to engage the viewers, and Carla said it's not personal, it's peace. Absolutely,
It's
absolutely. So
not.
if you all don't mind, just sharing kind of what peace looks like for you. And it doesn't have to be anything lengthy, but just what's your peace experience look like?
Mhm.
And I'll go first. Mine really is a I'm working on practicing more where there's like gratitude that goes along with it. And so with that gratitude, there's this joy. I can feel not only the smile on my face, but the smile in my heart.
Mhm.
There's a happiness and a joy that is kind of indescribable.
Yes, it is
And
for
I
sure.
really seek to carry that with me wherever I go.
Mm,
I really do. Yeah.
that's good. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah, joy can't be taken away from you, right?
Mhm.
And gratitude definitely is one of the strongest emotions. I believe the strongest that we can experience. So I love to write in a journal for myself for peace, and that it includes, what are my top 10. I've been doing that for years. The old coach helped me with that, establishing that habit, talking about habits.
Mhm.
So journaling 10 points of gratitude each day. So now I'm challenging myself to do it at night. I used to do it every
Okay.
morning when I told you I was getting up to pray, but God has been speaking to me to do it at night too. Like look over your day, or what are you
Mm,
looking forward to tomorrow? What's your expectations? So you can do a little
mhm.
bit of both in the evening,
Yeah.
which I have found to be a beautiful thing as well.
Nice, nice. All right. Keisha said peace is saying no. Hey.
Yes, and no is a full sentence, right? No,
Mhm. Yep. It can
nope.
be. It definitely can be. So thank you for sharing that. All right. Anybody else? What does peace look like for you? It could be boundaries. It could be um, something more physical. It could be in terms of going for a walk or
Yes,
grounding yourself. It could
yes.
be just watching nature or just the wind blowing in your hair or against your face. I mean, it could be a number of things. So Carla came back to it again. It's not personal. It's peace.
I
Okay.
love all of those. I
Yes.
love the
Yes.
sunshine early in the morning, so it's a
Mhm.
great time to walk. But yeah, so that brings peace and a lot of creative downloads when you go outside in nature as well.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Tina said, "What if you haven't found it?"
Mm. Well, I refer back to what we were talking about earlier. Is that really assessing who you are deep down inside? Really believe it's connected to that identity, because until you know for sure who you are and what your purpose is, that determines how you show up and confidently show up, because you
Mhm.
don't want to be just doing anything. Okay, I'm out here doing keynote speeches when I know I really don't want to be out here doing this. I want to be doing something else. So find out what is that you really want to do, and that you can do with excellence and pride. It's going to make you proud. That is going to help you build that confidence level. If it's occupationally, it could be physically as well. Like if it's weight loss, that's a different type of confidence. But I knew I had to lose weight, so now that I've lost the 35 pounds, I feel amazing and I feel more confident. So you just gotta really dig into what is it that you want.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. So I would agree. So Tina came back and said these things make me happy. Water, trips, sun. If so, peace seems temporary. So it is. I feel like joy can also be part of it, or happiness, if you will, can be part of it. But it is also, I believe, a calm, a settling like within yourself,
Mm-hmm.
such that you are not uh, so easily shaken or allow things to really um, how do I want to say, just get you out of sorts, you know?
Yes,
Hmm.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I think an indicator of that is, do things easily aggravate you, or how do you respond? Well, they say not react but respond, right? So are
Hmm.
you reactive versus responsive? because if you're reactive, then everything can kind of jolt you and move you. So take a
Mm-hmm.
look at yourself. How are you reacting to a situation?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you able to sit back and keep your calm, keep your steadiness, keep your core, and say, I understand. Let me
Mm-hmm.
take a look at this. I'll get back with you tomorrow, or whatever the case might be. You can
Yeah.
respond with a very certainty inside of you. So for me, that's what peace is that people can't pull you. They can't pull on your emotions. The storm of life can't pull on your emotions. You can still
Mm-hmm.
stand with surety that no matter what happens, come what may, right, God is still in charge. So that's what keeps me at peace. So that's what peace means to me.
Okay. So we got some more comments. Natasha said, yeah, I don't know how to quantify peace. I'm happy. I feel free in what I do, but is that peace? So maybe peace, and Dr. Monica just said maybe peace isn't the right word. You're using other words that also work,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
So indeed, so maybe peace isn't quite what we're identifying, but part of it again for me is really kind of like that confidence, not really allowing things to kind of shake me, and just walking in what I believe my purpose is. Uh,
Hmm.
hmm
Yeah,
yeah,
that's why I said it's kind of all tied together. I mean, all of these build upon each other to bring you to a place of where you are unshakable, unmovable, you're steadfast. Those are things that describe peace to me. No matter what the situation is, right? The circumstance in life, will it shake you? Will it break you? Or will you stay calm under pressure? And know that at the end of the day, the day go in, as Natasha said, because I know that something greater is going to take care of me, and I'm okay with
yes,
that.
and the end of the day, the day will end. Indeed. All right. So Tina said, "Love it. Needed to truly understand what defines peace." All right. And Keisha, my comedian, said, I found a new acronym for peace, GTHO. Get the hell on. Keisha don't want you in her face, okay? Listen.
Okay, I can respect that.
She
Trust
said
me. Woo,
it's not personal, it's peace. That I think
that's a,
that's the mic drop for tonight because y'all keep saying, oh my
yeah, because
goodness.
some certain places, people, and things will stress you. So
Mm,
will you let it?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Dr. Monica said, positive sense of being. We each have to define what that means and what's needed to achieve it. I think it begins with genuine maturity. Hmm.
Mm,
Okay. Yeah, maturity is part of that too, because I just think about things that happen now that maybe if they had happened 20, 30 years ago, they would have set me off, you know? But some
yeah,
things I'm just not bothered by those things anymore.
unbothered.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
that to me, just another layer deeper when you
Mhm.
say unbothered, or that's what they say. Um, that goes to back to what they call your locus of control.
Mm,
Do you feel in control of your life? Do you feel in control of your reactions, your emotions, your total being?
mhm.
Or do you feel, lost, confused at the hand of someone else or something else? Other things that are bringing you outside of your character, right?
Right.
Um, so what does that look like for you? And then that's a personal thing you have to answer. Like, what does my locus of control feel like? Do I feel like have a good sense of control over my life or who I am as a person?
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely want to try to, manage that, maintain it, um, so that you aren't, kind of going over the deep end, if you will. Um, Again, it goes back to self-awareness, which is what we initially started
Started
out,
with.
right? Yep. So
It's all
self-awareness.
connected.
It is. It is. It is. Okay.
That was
Wow.
great.
So this has been a great conversation on identity, confidence, peace, and peace for the new era woman. So I want to give you an opportunity to give some closing remarks and tell the folks how they can connect with you.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And I get a spotlight. Well, thank you, first of all, for having me, Nicole. I'm so glad we were able to reconnect. My fellow rattler, I'm sipping my tea out of my cup just
I love it.
in honor of you. So I made me a cup of tea. I said we're gonna talk, so let's bring my tea. But yes, so thank you for having me. This is very, very I'm honored because I
Yeah.
again am going through a divorce and this rebranding of me. This is a new person that's been birthed out of my dark time, and that's where the new era woman was born. So I knew I couldn't be the only person that goes through a period of just revitalizing themselves and coming out a new and better woman. So just to encourage you all, because I have been there, done that, got a T-shirt, and I know what it feels like to be unsure and be uncertain. Question yourself, question your confidence, question, where you're going in life and what that looks like. So as you begin to hopefully use the things we talked about tonight, get your tools. For anything, I would say have some tools. This is just one example of some tools. Nicole has the Aim High framework, so get with her if you need it. But have some tools ready. They're going to help you cope, right? Have a community. We talked about that tonight. What does your community look like? Again, it can be as small as one person, as long as they are genuinely caring about you and have your best interests and pour into you and know how to pray. Have you some friends that pray? That was a part of the problem. We weren't praying properly. So I do believe that can definitely uplift you. And then lastly, just being finding your peace, whatever that looks like in your life. We all talked about different types of ways we can find our peace tonight, but being able to implement it so that you can see the impact. I think sometimes seeing the fruit of your labor does take you to the next level, because
Mhm.
again, it was for me being able to lose some weight and see that and see how I feel. It helps me move on to the next goal and feeling more confident in myself. So get you some goals, work towards them, meet them, and celebrate yourself once you do, and along the way, because that's where you're going to really discover the next part of your journey. I don't want anyone on here tonight to be stuck, to be in a cycle, to be in a place where I've just been doing this for as long as I can do it, and this is all I do. Like, I want you to stretch and reach past that so that you can go get to your next level. There's so much more out there waiting for you, ladies. And just trust me, if you will stretch yourself, God will show you a whole nother side of yourself that you might not even know exists. And so that's what I would say, because who knew that this Michelle, I didn't know that she was in here, but she's
Mm.
here, baby, and she's just getting started.
Right.
Thank
So
you.
there's the website.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
CoachMichelleG.me. It's pretty easy to remember if you are looking for coaching. I do all types of coaching. It's really a personal development type of coach. I'm an certified executive coach, but I've helped people start businesses, launch podcasts, write books. I've done it all. So I'm definitely here to help you in whatever goals you want to reach this year.
All right, very good. Well, thank you so much for coming on, joining us tonight, and having this conversation around identity, confidence, and peace for the new era woman. Very apropos for Women's History Month as we celebrate women and womanhood. Let's see, Tina. So glad I jumped on. This conversation has brought me peace. Nice. It's really about how I'm aware of my needs. Yes, connected. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Tina. All right. And Carla, great conversation. Thank you so much. We appreciate all of the comments and y'all's engagement tonight. So if you found this to be helpful, let us know in the chat. Give us a thumbs up, a heart, or something to let us know. For those of you who may be new to the Conversations with Nicole platform, I invite you to subscribe to Conversations with Nicole. We are here Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, focused primarily on mental health and wellness. And we cover all dimensions of wellness. So it's not just mental wellness, but all of the dimensions of wellness. So this definitely I feel like dealt with emotional wellness and social wellness and mental and spiritual wellness. So all of that wrapped up into one. So thank you so much, Coach Michelle G. I don't know if Ish was on listening to us, but thank you, Ish, for connecting us. We really appreciate it. And I Ish mentioned earlier about an event that I have coming up. So this is my first time announcing this on the show, but Poom Poom Party is coming up on April 26th. Myself and Sonya B will start putting some information out about that. But the theme is the power of the Poom Poom, reclaiming, trusting, and honoring your inner knowing. Honoring your inner knowing. So it's going to be all about, look, what the inside of us has been telling us that we may have been ignoring or have been ignored by others. And so it's going to be a great time. So you can go to cocktailsandconversations.com for more information and to connect with us. So let's see. Keisha, she said, once again, a wonderful night of enlightenment and peace. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Keisha. And Mom, wonderful conversation. We need it. Thank you, Mom. Appreciate you so
Mom.
much. Yes, 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 yes. Shout out to the mamas.
Yes.
Out to the mamas. Yes. All right. Yes. That power. Yes, it does, baby. Yes, it does. All right. So if this this conversation is again benefited you, let's keep the conversation going. Share this with somebody that you think could benefit from what we had to say. And again, thank you so much, Coach Michelle. I appreciate you.
You're
All right,
welcome.
Dr. Monica, amen. Thank you, thank you. All right, y'all have a great evening, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.